My best man, Michael, proposed to the maid of honor, Emily, at my wedding. So, I pretended to forgive him and waited a full year so I could announce our pregnancy at their wedding. I was getting married when my best friend decided to end his best man speech by proposing to the maid of honor. He pulled out an engagement ring, and she strutted onto the stage. She started squealing, yes, and they passionately kissed. But when they stopped to look around, to their surprise, nobody was cheering for them. Instead, everybody started booing them. My father, who was tipsy, walked up and whiplashed his open bottle of beer at them, soaking Michael's suit and Emily's dress, which was off-white, by the way. This inspired a few more people to do the exact same thing, leading to the best man and the maid of honor being completely drenched in beer and wine. Her makeup was smeared and running down her face, and she literally ran out. The best man followed her, and as a final act of foo, my dad stuck his foot out and made the best man trip and faceplant on the venue floor. He got himself back up and sprinted out. Even though they were gone, the wedding was ruined. In the heat of the moment, I stood up and ran out. When I saw Michael and Emily, I didn't hold back. They were both still soaked, standing awkwardly as if unsure what to do next. The best man turned when he saw me coming, his eyes wide with a mix of guilt and disbelief. The maid of honor stood close behind him, her once pristine dress a mess of spilled drinks and smeared makeup. Before I could speak, he raised his hands. "Man, this isn't fair," he blurted out, his voice shaky but defensive. "We didn't deserve that. I mean, we were just trying to do something special." I stopped in front of them, stunned by his words. He wasn't apologizing. He was making himself the victim. "You didn't deserve that? You hijacked my wedding, and now you're upset because people were mad about it." He shook his head, frustration clear on his face. No, you don't get it. It wasn't supposed to go like this. We didn't mean to ruin anything. I thought people would be happy for us. I thought you'd be happy for me." I stared at him, barely able to process what I was hearing. "Happy for you? This was supposed to be about me and my wife, not you." "But why can't it be both?" he shot back, his voice rising. "Why can't we share the moment? You're my best friend, man. I figured you of all people would understand. This isn't just some random day for me either. I've been waiting for the right time to propose, and this felt perfect. She's the love of my life, just like your wife is to you." He sounded desperate now, like he truly couldn't understand why everything had gone wrong. Behind him, the maid of honor sniffed, wiping at her streaked face. She didn't say anything, but her eyes were locked on the ground as if hoping to vanish. I took a deep breath, trying to hold back the surge of anger. "You thought this was the right time? At my wedding? You couldn't wait one day, not even until after the reception." The best man groaned, running a hand through his wet hair. "You're blowing this out of proportion. It was one little moment, and now everyone hates us. We got drenched in beer and wine like we're the villains. I thought we were family. I didn't expect this from you." I clenched my fists, the disbelief hitting me again. "You don't get to act like the victim here. You made this all about you, and now you're surprised people are upset." He sighed, his shoulders slumping. I didn't think it would matter. I didn't think it would overshadow anything. I swear I didn't mean to ruin your day. I just wanted to make a memory too." I glared at him, my patience hanging by a thread. He still wasn't really sorry. He was just upset that things hadn't gone the way he imagined. He took a step back, looking down at the ground. "Look, I get it. You're angry. I didn't plan for this to blow up like it did. But I'm begging you, don't throw our friendship away over this. We've been through too much. I can't lose you over one mistake." I paused, staring at him for a long moment. He was still trying to make himself seem wronged, as if his selfishness wasn't the problem. "Maybe we shouldn't be around each other for a while," I finally said. "If you really think this was no big deal, then I don't know what else to say." He nodded slowly, his expression a mix of regret and frustration. "Fine, if that's what you want." Without another word, I turned and walked back inside, leaving them standing there. They had wanted to make a memory, and now they'd made one no one would forget. The texts started coming in right after the wedding. I sat with my wife in the living room, surrounded by the remnants of what was supposed to be our perfect day. My phone buzzed continuously, and each time I glanced at it, I saw his name. Michael. The messages were relentless. "I'm really sorry. Please talk to me. I never meant for any of this to happen. Please don't hate me." I put the phone down with a heavy sigh. My wife, still in her wedding dress, looked at me with tired eyes. Her makeup was smeared from tears, and her hair was in disarray. "Is he texting you?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Yeah," I said, rubbing my eyes. "He's sending message after message, apologizing." She shook her head in frustration. "Of course he is. He ruined our wedding, and now he's trying to play the victim." I didn't have the energy to argue. I just nodded. My mind was spinning with the events of the night. My wedding day had been taken over by his ill-timed proposal, and now he was making it about himself again with his constant apologies. The texts didn't stop. They kept coming. Texts, calls, even emails. Each one was a new plea for forgiveness. Michael claimed he didn't mean for things to go wrong, that he thought it would be a special moment for everyone, and that he was sorry. It was as if he couldn't understand why people were angry or why his actions had been so hurtful. By the end of the week, my patience was wearing thin. My wife had already decided she wanted nothing to do with Emily. They had been best friends for years, but after what happened, my wife cut off all contact. She was done with her. But she made it clear that if I wanted to maintain a friendship with Michael, it was up to me. "I'm done with her," she said firmly. "But I won't stop you from being friends with him if you want." I felt conflicted. I missed my best friend, but the way he had ruined our wedding made it hard to forgive him. Despite my mixed feelings, I agreed to meet him for coffee. Maybe talking in person would help clear things up or give me some closure. The day of the meeting, I arrived early and waited at a small cafe. When Michael walked in, he looked like a mess. His clothes were wrinkled, and his hair was disheveled. He looked like he hadn't slept, his face pale and tired. He sat down across from me, his eyes avoiding mine, and stared at his cup of coffee. He started talking as soon as he sat down. He went on and on about how he didn't mean for the wedding to be ruined. He said he thought it would be a great moment for everyone and that he was genuinely sorry. He mentioned that he was overwhelmed by his feelings and that he had always wanted to propose to Emily at a special event, and it just felt right at that moment. As he spoke, I could feel a mix of anger and pity. He was still trying to justify his actions and make it seem like he was the one who had been wronged. I listened, nodding occasionally, but inside I was thinking about how he had completely overshadowed the most important day of my life. "I didn't expect this to blow up like it did," he said, his voice breaking. "I thought people would be happy for us. I didn't want to take away from your day. Please don't let this ruin our friendship." I tried to stay calm, but it was hard. It felt like he was still not taking full responsibility for what happened. I told him that I would think about it, but deep down, I knew our friendship had changed. I pretended to accept his apology, but I was already planning my next move. For a good amount of time, we did not speak much, nor did we hang out. We met up a few times over the course of a year, but even then, we barely had stuff to talk about. Not a single meeting went by that we didn't get into an argument about the wedding either. And with each passing meeting, I realized we weren't really friends anymore. About a year into that, life took an unexpected turn for my wife and me. We found out we were expecting our first child. We had always wanted a family, and this news was the silver lining after everything that had happened. We decided to keep the pregnancy a secret until the right time. One day, I got an invitation in the mail. It was from Michael and Emily. They were getting married. I was surprised they even sent an invitation after everything. My wife and I discussed it at length. "I don't want to go," she said. "But if you feel like you need to, I'll support you and go too." I thought about it. Part of me wanted to ignore the invitation, but another part saw it as an opportunity. It could be a chance to get back at them in a way that felt justifiable. We decided we would go. It would be a way to move past the hurt, but also to make a statement. The day of their wedding arrived, and the difference between their wedding and ours was striking. Their venue was smaller, and the guest list was noticeably shorter. It was clear that many people had turned their backs on them. It was a stark contrast to the grand celebration we had. During the reception, I waited for the right moment. The room was filled with an uneasy silence. People were polite but distant. When the time felt right, I stood up, my wife beside me. "We have some exciting news," I announced to the crowd. "We're having a baby." The room fell quiet. A few guests clapped, but the mood was heavy. Michael and Emily looked over at us, their faces a mix of shock and anger. The groom's face turned red, and he clenched his fists. He stormed over to me as soon as I sat down, his eyes burning with fury. "This was supposed to be our day," he said in a low, furious tone. I shrugged, trying to keep my composure. "You wanted to share the moment, remember? I thought we'd both get a chance to celebrate." He glared at me, but couldn't argue. The damage was done, and the mood of the wedding was forever changed. It wasn't the celebration they had hoped for. As the years went by, there was little to no contact between us. The once close friendship had dissolved into mere memories. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Emily and Michael's marriage had fallen apart. Rumor had it she had cheated on him and taken all his money. One day, out of nowhere, I received a message from him. The message was a desperate plea for help. I need a place to stay. She left me, took everything. I have nowhere to go. Can I crash at your place for a while? I stared at the message, feeling a mix of emotions. I didn't want to be cruel, but I also felt like I had already done enough. I took a deep breath and sent a reply. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. I think it's best we keep our distance. I hit send and then blocked his number. The past was behind me, and I wanted to keep it that way. The revenge I had planned had come full circle, and it felt like justice had been served. The best man and the maid of honor were no longer part of my life, and I was ready to move on. After blocking his number, I hoped that would be the end of it. But a few days later, my phone buzzed with an unfamiliar number. Reluctantly, I answered, and to my surprise, it was Michael again. Please, just hear me out one more time. I'm at rock bottom, and I don't have anyone else. I know I messed up, but this is really bad. I need your help. I sighed, trying to stay calm. What more do you want from me? I've already told you I can't help. He kept pushing. I get it, okay? I really do. But think about what we had. We were best friends. I know I made a mistake, but everyone else has turned their backs on me. I'm all alone, and I don't have anyone left to turn to. I didn't respond immediately. His desperation was almost overwhelming. He continued to send messages, each one more pleading than the last. Finally, he called again. When I answered, he was frantic. You don't understand. I'm completely broke, and she left me with nothing. I'm desperate. I know it was my fault, but I swear I've learned my lesson. Please don't do this to me. You're the only person who can help me now. I was about to hang up when he said something that crossed the line. I'm just asking for a chance. If you don't help me, I'll have nowhere to go. I'd even be willing to forgive you for ruining my wedding, but only if you agree to help me. You owe me that much. The words hit me like a punch. He was trying to guilt me into helping him by bringing up the past and turning it against me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That's it, I said, my voice cold. I'm done. I won't listen to any more of your excuses or demands. I ended the call and blocked the new number for good. The final straw had been crossed, and I knew there was no going back. The friendship was officially over, and I was done with the drama.